Yeah, welcome everyone. Marijuana Time Show for January 17th, 2018. I'm your host, Joe Klare. Welcome everyone checking out the videos. Of course, you can find the videos on marijuanatimes.org. Also, if you search the Marijuana Times on YouTube and Facebook, you'll find past shows of the Marijuana Times Show. You can also find a lot of other great articles and such. All the latest on the cannabis community and industry at marijuanatimes.org. Myself and a bunch of other great writers. They're always posting new stuff over there at marijuanatimes.org. And as I said, of course, you can find this show as well and all of the past episodes. Today we're talking about Oklahoma, the possibility of medical marijuana there, and a new poll relating to that. Also, what's going on in Massachusetts, what state and Boston police have to say about a possible marijuana crackdown. And we're going to play you a video today from Netflix. A promotional thing for the new show, Disjointed, which their second 10 episodes just released on Netflix. Features ex-NFL players talking about medical marijuana. We got all that and more coming up. But first, of course, I want to tell you that the Marijuana Time Show is brought to you by Natureside Cannabis.com. Organic, all-natural pesticides. If you're a cultivator, a legal cultivator in a legal state, you want to pass regulations. In many states, there are pesticide regulations in place, and in many states, there's more on the way. You want to be regulatory compliant, and you want to make sure that your grow is safe and poison-free, no harmful chemicals, no harmful pesticides. You want organic, all-natural pesticides. You can get those from NaturesideCannabis.com. They can help you become regulatory compliant as well. Proud sponsor of the Marijuana Times Show, NaturesideCannabis.com. Go check them out if you're a legal cultivator in a legal state. This first story comes from Fox23.com. Out of Oklahoma, new poll finds 62% of Oklahomans support medical marijuana measure. Recently, the governor of Oklahoma decided that State Question 788, which would legalize medical marijuana in Oklahoma, would be on the June 26th ballot. There was a choice between the November ballot, when the midterm elections are. People vote for, all their House members, and most state houses, a lot of governors are voted on, a third of the Senate is voted on. Or if it would happen, the other choice was it would happen during the primaries, which are going to be June 26th. So June 26th is going to be the day that Oklahomans vote on medical marijuana. Oklahomans for Health issued a news release with the polling information and a statement regarding recent criticism for the wording of SQ 788. People have pointed out the lack of medical conditions in particular. Quote, the intent of no medical conditions is that it forces the professional recommendation squarely on the shoulder of the physicians, whereas in other states they're just checking a box. We think the decision of whether a patient should get a prescription should rest with the medical professional, said Chip Pale, chair of Oklahomans for Health. According to the Sooner poll, 73% of Oklahomans support the physician recommendation section of SQ 788. In other words, in most states, there are, 15, 20, 25 qualifying conditions that a physician can choose from to recommend, because you can't prescribe medical marijuana. It's against federal law, so you can recommend medical marijuana. This bill apparently has none of that. And it's up to your physician, for whatever reason. Basically, they want to prescribe medical marijuana for you. They can do that. When it comes to recreational marijuana, however, going back to the poll, those poll were more hesitant. Just 37% answered favorably about legalizing recreational marijuana. And for medical marijuana, 62% is a low number. In many states with polls, they take polls on this issue. The favorability ratings are in the 70s, the 80s, in some places even 90% or more. But obviously Oklahoma is a very conservative state, right in the middle of the country, right in the middle of the heartland, the Bible Belt, whatever you want to call it. It's not the place that would be known, or not a place, just north of Texas, that would be known for being liberal or progressive or whatever you want to label it when it comes to these policies. So it may be a close vote there in Oklahoma. So if you live in Oklahoma, well, You need to get out to vote June 26th. Don't wait till November and then be like, oh, what happened? No, it already happened. It happened in June. June of this year. Make sure you're on it. Oklahomans. So I don't think I knew that the people from Oklahoma were known as Oklahomans until Fox 23 News just told me. So thank you, Fox 23 News. Shifting to Massachusetts, Staties, says state police in Massachusetts, BPD, to feds. We won't bust bud in Bay State. Thank you to the Boston Herald, bostonherald.com for that title. If the feds bust any local pot shops, they'll be on their own. State police and Boston cops won't assist in any crackdown of businesses that are legal under state law, local authorities said. Public Safety Secretary Daniel Bennett, who oversees the state police, told the Herald yesterday, or yesterday is when this story was filed, quote, we have a state law that we're intending to enforce, and the state law was voted on by the people of Massachusetts. He continued, we have no intention of raiding a pot shop that is legal under state law. Now, Boston Police spokesman Detective Lieutenant Michael McCarthy told the Herald in a statement, quote, similar to our position on immigration, the BPD will not actively enforce marijuana laws at the local level. We will continue to enforce local drug laws to keep our neighborhoods safe. Now, last week, U.S. Attorney Andrew Lelling said that he couldn't guarantee that people wouldn't be prosecuted and businesses wouldn't be prosecuted under federal law. He said, quote, I cannot provide assurances that certain categories or participants in the state-level marijuana trade will be immune from federal prosecution. They didn't have any comment, apparently, when the story was posted, the U.S. Attorney's Office, on what the state police are going to do and what the Boston police are going to do. And as I said a couple of shows ago, you know, there's no hope for any kind of crackdown, no matter what any U.S. attorney says, without the compliance, at the very least, of local authorities. In a lot of places, state lawmakers, police spokesmen and chiefs, and a lot of them are saying, we're not going to help you. We're not going to help you. The DEA doesn't have enough agencies to raid, you know, tons and tons of businesses. Now, so far, thankfully, we're a couple weeks into this no Cole memo era. There's been no announcements of, hey, we're going to go after these people. Most U.S. attorneys, as I said in a previous show, that they're going to focus on high-level traffickers, people who are violent, who use violence as part of their high-level trafficking, things of that nature. And that's, it is what it is. But if a business is state legal, if a customer is state legal, if what they're doing is legal under state law, hopefully, for the most part, the feds are going to leave them alone, and so far they are. Of course, it doesn't mean that, as I speak, raids aren't going down in some state somewhere. These things change quickly. But in any case, so far, so good. A lot of local authorities, state officials, House members, senators are saying we're not going to put up with this. If a crackdown comes, we are not going to support it. We're going to actively fight against it. Now, last but not least, I mentioned the show Disjointed. Their second 10 episodes are now on Netflix. I watched the first 10. It's an eclectic, it's not an official review or anything. It's an eclectic mix. Stars Kathy Bates and a lot of other great people. And it's a lot of comedy, obviously, but it also deals with some serious stuff. Like the security guard there was in Iraq and he has PTSD. And they talk a lot about that and how medical marijuana helps all kinds of people. The consultant on that show is our old friend Dr. Dina, who's been on my other podcasts before and is part of the same podcast network that I'm part of. And so it's a great show to check it out. Anyway, Netflix released a promotional video, I'm about to show you here in a minute, that features ex-NFL players talking about medical marijuana. Some of this is kind of like this show. There's a little comedy thrown in, but a lot of serious stuff. So not only is it a promotional video for Disjointed and Netflix, it's also a promotional video for medical marijuana directed at the powers that be in the NFL and in a wider sense, everybody. It's and as I said before, anything that helps get medical marijuana and recreational marijuana and discussions about marijuana in the mainstream are great. So check out this video from Netflix for the new show Disjointed, featuring several ex-NFL players.
Hi, my name is Ricky Williams.
My name is Evan Britton.
My name is Mark Rostelli.
My name is Boo Williams.
My name is Jim McMahon.
My name is Chris Cluey.
My name is Kyle Turley. I played in one of the major North American football leagues.
I have 2 championship rings from that big game we play at the end of the season.
In college, I won a trophy that looks like this.
I was a punter for 8 seasons, and punters are football players too.
I also wrote the name of the commissioner on my headband, and everyone lost their shit.
The men who play American football are subject to a life of injury,
Pain.
And disease.
Both during and long after their careers are over.
And that's why I smoke pot.
That's why I smoke cannabis.
that's why I smoke weed. That's why I smoked weed when I played.
It has, without a doubt, reduced the amount of pain I live with.
It's my body. I know.
But for some reason, the major North American non-Canadian football league refuses to allow players to use cannabis.
Instead of allowing for safe, natural healing,
The sport pushes players towards addictive narcotic painkillers with serious side effects.
So let's get real, Roger.
Football players should be allowed to use medicinal marijuana.
Without the stigma of it being a banned substance.
Cannabis isn't a drug.
It is a medicine.
You see Gridiron Cannabis, Disjointed, Netflix. You can go check it out on Netflix. Disjointed. And, it's obviously a lot of great points. And the fact that this is something that we're talking about at this point in history. Can you imagine 10 years ago, a bunch of NFL players standing up and said, hey, we smoke weed. This is why we smoke weed. This is why we continue to smoke weed. This is why weed is better than opioids, dangerous, addictive pills, prescriptions that we've been given. We've been hitting the head a ton. So many players have not only injury problems with various parts of their body, but many of them have various forms of brain damage from getting hit all the time. And the fact that, just like in many other areas of society, the powers that be in the NFL are fine with, take some pills, that's cool. Shots in your knee, tons of pills, all that, that's great. Don't smoke a joint or you're in trouble. That's the way a lot of people look at marijuana. And that is what needs to end. Thanks, everybody, for checking out the Marijuana Times show. Search the Marijuana Times, as I said, on YouTube and Facebook and Apple Podcasts as well. If you want the audio version of the show on the old iTunes, search the Marijuana Times. Get all our social media, articles, videos, all that stuff at marijuanatimes.org. Thank you to naturesidecannabis.com, organic, all-natural pesticides, for being a proud sponsor of the show. Thanks to all of you who like, comment, share all the videos. You're helping grow this show, helping us spread the truth about cannabis. One video, one show at a time. Thanks, everybody, for checking out the Marijuana Time show. I am Joe Klare. It is January 17th, 2018. We'll see you next time.